Jenkins CI is without a doubt the world's greatest continuous integration and continuous delivery tool. And if you're not afraid of getting your hands just a little bit dirty with Docker, installing Jenkins inside of a Docker container and using the Docker Jenkins image to learn how to use Jenkins and even actually deploy right into production is definitely the best way to go, which is why I put this tutorial together. I wanted to show you how to install Jenkins inside of a Docker container. And, I don't even want to say install Jenkins because we're not going to build a Docker build file or anything like that. We're actually just going to go and take the Docker image that's available over on Docker Hub, run it, do the appropriate configurations like installing the plugins and setting up the admin user, and then actually go ahead and create a little Jenkins build job, maybe even a Jenkins Hello World pipeline, just to prove that the configuration is working. Again, we're not going to create Jenkins build files and build the image from scratch. We're going to use this one that's available up on Docker Hub. Now you do see the Docker Hub image there. Be careful. There's an older deprecated Jenkins image. You don't want to use that one. I think it's just called Jenkins, whereas the newer one is called Jenkins/Jenkins. So the difference is minor, but the difference is big as well. Now, if you're a Docker user, you've probably seen this Docker pull command. You're thinking, I don't need any help from Cameron. I'm just going to do Docker run Jenkins. And if you do that, you're going to end up in a world of hurt because there's a bunch of things that you really should configure before you jump into it quickly like that. And that's one of the reasons why I put this tutorial together. I want to show you all the things that you could run into trouble with. Now, you'll notice that I'm on Windows, so don't leave yet. Don't leave now. I'm running Docker Desktop for Windows. I know it's Windows. Real developers use Linux, but you're actually playing the game on easy level if you configure this on a Linux machine. There's actually a bunch of issues that you'll hit on Windows. And so if you can follow through and watch me configure this on Windows and see a couple of little hiccups that I might encounter here, man, you're going to be so ready to install this on your own Linux machine. You won't regret it at all. As I said, let's play this game on expert level right now, and then you can do the easy level at home. But I do have Docker Desktop for Windows started up. I'm now going to open up Windows PowerShell, and I'm going to start doing that good old Docker run command. So Docker run, let's run this Jenkins image. Now, when you run the Jenkins image, you're supposed to run it with privileged access rights. So -- privilege should be put in there. I find this doesn't work. I don't know why, but whenever I go in and try and pull from GitHub, I end up getting some message that says there's a lock that I can't gain access to. But if I drop a hammer and say, just run this image with root user rights -u0, the Uber user, well, I don't have any problems at all. So I'm going to give you that piece of advice. As you go into production, you might want to roll that back a little bit, but let's get things working first. Now, the other thing too, you may or may not know, but Jenkins runs on port 8080. It's a good old-fashioned Tomcat server. Actually, I think it's a Jetty server, but it's a Java server. That's what's important. And traditionally, we always ran on 8080. It's just puts us a little bit a cut above of all of those port 3000 people. So you want to expose that port, and also there's an administrative agent that runs on port 50,000. So you want to open up and expose that as well. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, man, but I got so many other things running on port 50,000. Well, you're going to have to find another port for them, or use the built-in port mapping that it comes right out of the box with Docker. Okay, that's the start. Now, we're not ready yet. When Jenkins runs, it puts a lot of information in a folder called Jenkins Home. And that folder is kept inside the container, all of the data, like the pulls from GitHubs and configurations about Jenkins jobs and all of those things. That all goes into something called Jenkins Home, but that exists inside the container. You probably want that on your local file system. I mean, because that's going to be all the information of all the jobs that you create. And if you create a dozen Jenkins build jobs and then your container dies, you're going to lose it all. At least you can put it on your hard drive. So if your hard drive dies, then your whole life goes down the tubes, and you don't have to worry just about Jenkins. Hopefully you're backing up your hard drive, or might be a bit more stable. As you can see, I got a folder here called _CICD/Jenkins home. I'm going to copy that a little bit. And what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to say, I want that folder, and it might just be /Jenkins home. On an Ubuntu machine here, I got to say C://CICD/Jenkins_home. I think I'm running out of space here. That's going to map to var/Jenkins home inside of the container. That sets us up nicely right here. So now my local file system over here is going to be mapped into that Jenkins home folder inside of the container. And then finally, now we can say Jenkins, oh, do me right, Jenkins. Let's get the latest long-term support release and run everything. Now, give me 1 second to make sure that my fat fingers didn't do something wrong here. Okay, I'm ready to drop the hammer. Let's click enter. And one thing I'm going to be looking for here is the passcode to get into Jenkins for the very first time. Let's see if you can find Waldo here. Okay, Jenkins has completed its setup initially. You'll also notice I opened up the Jenkins home folder. You can see it on the right-hand side there. That's all the stuff that the Jenkins container has populated onto my local file system to support Jenkins home. So if you've done that on your own local machine, it's worthwhile just poking around there and seeing the different folders that exist inside of Jenkins home. Now you do see that there is that great big long hexadecimal number right there. I need that to log into Jenkins for the very first time. So you want to open up a web browser, go to localhost 8080, come over here and copy that crazy passcode. Head over to localhost 8080. That should bring up the Jenkins landing page. Paste that hexadecimal number right in there. Click continue, and this should kick off the Jenkins installation. Now you're given a couple of options here. One is to install all the suggested plugins. The other one is to select them yourself. If you're just interested to see what's available, click select plugins, but really you just want to install the suggested plugins. This gives you more than enough. It gives you the Gradle plugin. It gives you the pipeline plugin. It gives you the Git plugin. It gives you the LDAP mailer dark theme plugin, which I always get in trouble for not using. Just give this a second. It'll install all of the basic plugins, and once this is done, we'll be ready to go and start actually using Jenkins after we do a couple of user and other configurations before then. Once the plugins have finished being installed, you're then prompted to enter in an administrative user. I just like to set Jenkins for all the properties here. I'm going to set Jenkins for the username. I'm going to set Jenkins for the password. I'm going to set Jenkins as the name, jenkins@example.com as the email address. And that way it's not difficult for me to remember who the user was and what the credentials were when I have to go and log into this tomorrow. Having said that, it's obviously not something you want to do in an enterprise environment, but if you're just learning and testing, that's fine. Once that's completed, you're allowed to just start using Jenkins. So click that beautiful blue button and the Jenkins Administrative Console will greet you warmly. Okay, I'm doing just a very quick interruption here. A couple of things. The YouTube algorithm hates me for some reason right now. If you're enjoying this video, if you could like, subscribe, and even leave a comment, I would really love to hear from you and find out if you've enjoyed this. It'll also help wake up the YouTube algorithm and maybe give my channel and my videos a little bit more exposure. So I would really appreciate that. The other thing too is I got a new copy of Hibernate Made Easy coming out, the best-selling book. I've updated it for version 7 of Hibernate. So if you're into JPA, Spring Data, Spring JDBC, please sign up for my mailing list. You don't have to buy it, but I'll be raffling off some free copies for members of my newsletter. And I'll also be making chapters available through the newsletter as well. So sign up for that. There's a link in the description. And finally, I helped out with some final edits on Darcy DeClute Scrum Master Certification Guide. So if you're agile and you're working with Scrum and you're interested in getting Scrum Master certified, a lot of people have been using this book to score 100% on the Product Owner and Scrum Master exam. So it's available on Amazon. Go pick that up. I know Darcy would be very happy if you did. Okay, that's it. I'm really sorry to bother you. Let's get back into the coding. And so here we are. Welcome to the Jenkins Administrative Console. What do you want to do first when you get in here? Well, after I've just installed Jenkins, I always like to just create an item right away. I might reduce the size of the screen here. Yeah, 200% is pretty big. I also usually compress the size of my screen to 1600 by 900 for these tutorials so that it's easier for you to see the text on the screen. So maybe I'll up that a little bit, but I don't think we have to go too much more than that. What I want to do here is I just want to create a very simple Jenkins pipeline. This is just hello world. I'm going to get into Git and GitHub and Maven and Gradle in the next tutorials, but right here I just want to create a new Jenkins item, and I'm just going to call this the smoke test pipeline. And notice there's a few different options that you've got: freestyle, pipeline, multi-configuration, project, multi-branch. Freestyle is just like a Jenkins job that is very UI centric. Pipeline, you got to roll your own. So I'm going to click pipeline. I'm always reminded of Mario Brothers when I see that little pipeline icon right there. But I'll select pipeline, click OK. It asks me for a few things, description. Do I want to discard old builds? What are the build triggers? Is it a cron job? Does it go daily? And then finally it says, well, if it's a pipeline, you got to write some pipeline code. And I'm like, no, I don't. I can just click this little drop down window right here, and I can just take some basic pipeline code. And that's the structure of a basic pipeline. You run a pipeline in stages, right? Like you could have your pull from Git, do your build, interact with SonarQube, build a Docker image, push to Docker Hub, trigger a deployment in AWS. Those could be all the different stages. We're not there yet. But we do have a stage called hello that's supposed to echo out hello world, and I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to click save right there. Again, I was able to get to that just by clicking on this list here. Notice GitHub plus Maven and scripted pipelines or other options. I'm just going to click save. Then I've got the option to build now. It's going to think about it. You can see in the bottom left-hand corner, bottom right-hand corner for people in Australia, it's now thinking about doing this build for me. Taking just a couple of seconds. That barber pole is going around. And then it looks like it works, but I'm from Missouri, so I like to see. I can click on that number 1, and the screen will change a little bit. It gives me the ability to look at some console output. And if I click on console output, well, there we go. It says hello world, and it also says that I and you are big successes. And hey, who can argue with that? Okay, so that's how easy it is to get Jenkins installed and configured in Docker and running on your local machines. Doing some builds with Git and GitHub and Maven and Gradle. That's the next thing on the agenda, and that's what we're going to do next.